Hey, I'm Eric Haugen. There's my social media information. Like my videos and subscribe to my channel. If this content is enriching for you, helps me out when you do that. That's a win-win. Today we are talking about, the perhaps overlooked sound of the Glassy, Chorusy, Knopfler tone setting on a Stratocaster. Isn't that nice? Okay, let's just do a quick, I like to do this these days, I do a quick, hey, here's you wanna be a YouTube influencer, here's what you do. You get a couple of cameras. Yeah, dude, this is just my living room. Here's my feet. There's a Morley passive volume pedal, the Boss Wazacraft Chorus. I am using the TC Flashback dynamic delay function. This is fun. There's my light source. There you go. And you know what else is going on back there. The M160 ribbon mic into this setup, which I'm actually having some technical trouble with. I got to troubleshoot. There's some wire problem or something. There's my setup. Okay, let's talk about it. I think the reason I want to add this to my list of guitar as a textural device, this is definitely like one of my favorite things to layer into a song. Because it's non-aggressive. I feel like, you know, we have a default setting with guitar that is kind of big, loud, aggressive sound, which, hey, that's cool too. I like that sound also, but I don't know. I just feel like in a track, sometimes it's cool to have just a little glassy part. I'll be a little more specific in a second. The thought I had recently was, let us not be like Tom Cruise from the film Magnolia. Let us be like Philip Seymour Hoffman from the film Magnolia. Helpful, thoughtful, trying to put things right, trying to make everything work. That's what I'm thinking. The other thing that it does when we have this setting, which by the way I think you can see here, it is these two pickups. These two pickups I'm using, to me, is the classic Knopfler. And you know, it doesn't have to be fingers. I can do it with pick too. I don't think it's totally necessary that that it be fingers. I just really like to play with fingers lately for, I don't know, kind of piano-y kind of effect. You can really choose exactly what you mean to get if you get it. Ooh, that's cool. Let's talk about other things that it does. One thing that it definitely does when you bring chorus on, it will, of course, it's going to pull the track or the loop or whatever creative thing you're playing around with. It will pull it very 80s. What is that? That's a great one-hit wonder, which, you know, to my ear, I'm hearing a lot of 80s production in the newer stuff that's coming out. I'm hearing those 80s synth sounds, those 80s drum sounds, those 80s guitar sounds. That stuff is coming back and getting recycled again in a new way, in a new and interesting way for sure. And then the other thing that I think when we do this, that I think why a lot of people hate chorus is because, yeah, it's not so great for aggressive stuff. It is cool for chimey, chill stuff. Ooh, that's a great chord. Let's put that over an A. Oh, that starts to sound like Afghan Wigs, Miles is Dead. I love that sound. And the thing that I say to my students a lot about playing softer is that, hey, let's explore the lower end of our dynamic control. I have never, in my 20 plus years of teaching, had to tell someone to play louder or faster. It's always the opposite. Hey, calm down. calm down. And I like chorus because it invites that. Let's go up to this one. Okay, but let's get specific. When we're playing guitar, we're either doing one of three things. We are either holding a groove with chords, we are playing riffs, or we are playing something melodic. That's really the activities we engage with on this instrument. Okay, let's think about a groove with chords. If I think about chorus guitar, Andy Summers. Oh, I love The Police so much. So big, much. Oh, for example, Walking on the Moon. What a great chord. I'll talk about that in a second. Yeah, that's Walking on the Moon. Yeah, we won't worry about that. So in general, letting chords hang. What kind of chords? Well, I'll tell you what kind of chords I think sound good. Sus chords. You know, this one in Walking on the Moon, what's that? That's like a D minor, minor 9, minor 11, you could call it. If you put the G, it's Hard Day's Night. Obviously, it's not. So yeah, floaty sus chords, minor 9 chords. Where's a good E minor 9? Let's give it a cool A9. You know, and just let them hang with a little bit of chorus. That's so cool. Where's an A9 up here? Let's see. Don't like that as much. That's a little too closed sounding. What's a minor 9 right here? There's a good one. So yeah, minor 9 chords, sus chords, any kind of floaty chords. Chorus is floaty, so that makes it double float. Yeah, that makes sense. You know what I mean. Other things, let's say riff-wise, you saw me play that one-hit wonder 8675309. One that comes to mind. I love Guided by Voices so much. Let me see if I remember it. Yeah, that's a song called Chasing Heather Crazy, Guided by Voices. I think the record is Isolation Drills. Dude, you just can't touch Bob Pollard and Guided by Voices. It's just some of the best classic indie that there ever is. Okay, and then in terms of melodic things that you can do with this setting, this Knopfler-y, these two pickups, that chorus pedal setting, of course, like layering simple pentatonic fills, which follow my channel. There's, I mean, 3/4 of my channel is simple pentatonic fills on stuff. You know, okay, Sultans of Swing, right? D minor. And that's all out of that shape there. All right, do you want to test? See if I can play the solos? I love this bit. Give myself a pat on the back. I haven't practiced that in like a year. Which that touches upon a thing where I keep certain solos around a lot. Like I've played that solo many, 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 many times as a warm-up. That solo, Black Magic Woman, that's another good solo. Any of the simple Joey Santiago solos from the Pixies are good things to keep around. I keep around about 20 lead motifs that I'm always like, oh yeah, do I remember how to play that thing? Okay, it's sort of like that. Oh, David Gilmour, of course, is another good one. So, in conclusion, I know that strats are a divisive topic because they get used a lot for, a certain kind of sound. But man, there is nothing, like I have Telecasters, I have a Mustang, I have other guitars, but there's something uniquely airy and light about a Stratocaster, especially with that Knopfler setting, especially with a chorus pedal, that in terms of, again, guitar as a textural device, in terms of thinking like a producer, in terms of thinking like, what's a thing that guitar specifically can do? I think about that a lot. Like what does a piano do? What does an organ do? What does a synth do? What does a Wurlitzer do? What do drums do? What are the things that are unique to each instrument? And I definitely think that Glassy, Chorusy chords on a Strat is definitely a unique thing that this thing does. Ooh, that's cool. That's actually... Let's give it an E6. E major 7. A major 7? Do that again. E6, E major 7, A major 7, A major 9. Yeah, that again, if we let go of our desire to be Tom Cruise from the film Magnolia and lean into more non-aggressive, thoughtful, tasteful playing, don't get me wrong, being aggressive, being rude, being skronky, there's time for it, but I don't know, these days I'm much more mellow. I don't know, maybe I'm just getting old. Anyway, thanks so much to everybody who supports me in all the ways that you do, even if it's just clicking like and subscribe, because that helps with the algorithm relevancy, which is how everything works these days. And yeah, I think that's all I got for you this week. I'll be back next week. As Bill and Ted would say, be excellent to each other. That includes yourself. Happy Friday. Eat pizza. Why am I threatening you with my fists when I say that? Eat pizza. I'm a weird guy, what can I say? I never pretended to be anything else, though.